What's going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video on the channel. I want to give you an update on Solana as its price has been in cool down mode, and of course many of you are asking me what's coming next and what I'm thinking. So with that said, let's not waste any more time at all and let's get straight into today's video. So looking at Solana here, we can see again that its price has been in cool down mode. We of course did see the price rally over 220% from about $8 all the way back up to $27 before eventually going into what we are now seeing as some type of consolidation or slight pullback. Now, many of you are asking, well, now we're cooling down, the price is kind of relaxed a bit, is this bullish and should we be buying? Well, let me answer both of those questions. First and foremost, I don't believe now is the time to be buying, but I do believe what we are seeing right now is bullish, especially in the long term. The reason why I believe that what we are seeing is bullish in the long term is the fact that we are not seeing immediate rejection and capitulation to the downside after seeing such a strong move to the upside. What I mean by that is that generally speaking, when we see these large capitulations to the downside, especially something that's triggered by bad news such as the FTX and Alameda Research crash, we will typically see this rally and then a continuation back to the downside. We don't usually hold some support unless people believe that there is a resolution to the problem that caused this crash. So what that means for Solana is that in this situation in which the price is actually holding up and not crashing, is that people believe that Solana has a future without Alameda Research and without FTX and without the funding that they gave them, and that there could very possibly be a light at the end of this tunnel that looks like Solana seeing some recovery and growth into the long term. And so of course, because people are getting more confident in Solana, that is a very bullish sign for what could be the next few months and of course the next few years. But let's talk a little bit why about I don't believe now is the time to be buying, and the fact that I do believe that there will be better buying opportunities. Well, first and foremost, of course, we have to see the fact that we have clearly been rejected off of this massive level of support. I'm actually under the belief that had FTX not crashed, that we would have seen this bear market rally or the beginning of this bull market that we're in right now begin a few months ago. I think we slowly would have edged into it and started to see some growth kind of similar to this, building up that support on top of $26. So as we can see that in that example, that gives us a massive level of support that also held up for us back during the bull market during 2021. And so because of that, we obviously have to be aware that this $26 to $27 level is going to be a massive level of resistance to the upside, and while we are below it, we are at major risk of seeing a rejection to the downside. This level does also kind of coordinate and coincide with this massive 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone, in which we also have been rejected from this thing and pushed out below it, which is another bearish sign in the long term. Now, this just simply means that we've rallied, we've done well, but now we're getting rejected and we need to build up some support, rally the troops, establish some foundation, and really get a breakout above this $27 level before we can get too excited that any growth is coming from Solana whatsoever. Now, there are sheds of light throughout all of this. One thing you can see is that as we have been making this move to the downside, we are getting massive drives of bullish divergence paired with these oversold readings on our chart prime oscillator. What this tells us is that in this moment, as we are putting in some of these lower lows, we are getting extremely bullish indicators flashing, showing that these could be bottoming out structures and that we could get a breakout from this descending wedge rather sooner than later. This chart prime oscillator has a very strong tendency that when it prints these oversold readings matched in with bullish divergence, that we do get these moves to the upside. I mean, look at what we got the last time this happened. And so considering the fact that historically we have seen bounces to the upside whenever things like this do happen, it wouldn't shock me whatsoever to see that move to the upside rather soon, but I am not going to bet that it is going to happen, especially while Bitcoin could very well be in position itself to see some type of move back to $25,000 before it also looks to continue. And so what I'm going to do is that while Solana is in a trajectory downward while we are in this descending wedge, I'm not going to buy any. It does not make sense to buy something when it is absolutely guaranteed to go down. And until we break this resistance, which is the top side of this descending structure, sorry about that, this descending structure right here, we are absolutely guaranteed to go down. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to sit back and set my alerts and wait for Solana to break the top side of this wedge. And once we're finally capable of doing so, then I am going to go forward and start to accumulate a little bit more Solana, especially once we break this $27 level to the top side, getting us above this massive point of resistance. My first big set of buys will come once we break the wedge. My second set of buys will come once we break this $26.50 to $27 level to the top side. downside, because both of those will be implications that we are ready to go and that we are going to see some type of continuation to the top side. The risk here is that the price of Solana does continue downwards for quite a while, maybe a few months, maybe a few weeks before continuing. And obviously I would rather be accumulating on a breakout down here than buying before we do absolutely for sure guaranteed continue to go down prior to the breaking of the wedge. So right now, no, I don't believe it is the best time to be buying unless you're just long-term dollar cost averaging. I think the better thing to do is to wait for this descending structure to be broken and then move forward with your purchases once we're not under this key point of resistance or this $27 level of resistance. As I mentioned before, we are getting many flashing indicators on this chart prime oscillator that say that a breakout is going to likely happen eventually, but it is not here yet, and you need to simply wait for that to happen. Now, if you want to stay updated yourself on when we do get all of these bullish and bearish readings, the oscillators printing, and all of our bullish divergences forming, make sure that you do use the link in the description. Go check out Chart Prime. You'll get 30% off because I am a partner with them, and it is something that I believe is absolutely essential to the future of trading. Their indicators are the top of the chain, and so of course I did want to partner with them and bring them to you all so you can get a discount with the link in the description below. But with that said, of course, that is about it for today's video. I don't think that right now is the best time to be purchasing Solana, and as we do move forward and the price does continue to develop, I will let you know when things do change, but as of now, that's where I stand. So with that said, of course, I hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you all next time. Peace.